two things. First, this is the end of season 3. And then the second thing is we don't have David or Jamie today. We've got...
An upgrade? I'd say an upgrade. If I ever wrote a book, it'd probably just be like a pop-up. Just keep it short, but like visually engaging.
Yeah. Like 100 pop-ups.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Dan's 100 pop-ups. It sounds like a porno, but maybe it will be. I don't know. Keep an eye out for that. It's being launched next year.
Hey guys, you're listening to Just 3 Clicks, and this is episode 24. It did say 24, didn't I?
You did say 24, yeah.
All right, cool. So yeah, two things. First, this is the end of season 3. I'm not going to lie, I didn't know we were doing seasons until literally like 30 seconds ago. So this is the end of season 3. And then the second thing is we don't have David or Jamie today. We've got Dan.
An upgrade? I'd say an upgrade.
So basically, we had a podcast scheduled for today. David's not here because it's his son's birthday. Happy birthday, David's son. And I don't know where Jamie is. I think he's at home somewhere doing something. He might be cycling. He likes cycling on Fridays.
Or cleaning up puppy shit.
Yeah, he's into cycling on a Friday, so maybe he's cycling. So yeah, we pulled in Dan today. And we're just going to talk kind of off the cuff about all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. This is my first podcast, so...
I'm going to turn you up a little bit. Dan's very softly spoken. Say something for me.
Something for you.
Again?
Something for you again.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. I've got him on full max now, so whoever's editing this, just turn it up. Cool. So what do you want to talk about?
Fuck no. Well, we were just discussing the gym a second ago, so...
Yeah, so in the UK, we're going to be lifting restrictions on the lockdown 9 or whatever it is. So that's cool. Monday.
Yeah, I mean, I've already had access to a secret gym for a while. But
Yeah.
it's not quite the same with no one going. And like in your garage, it's not quite the same atmosphere.
No, it's not. It's pretty weak in the garage. I was thinking actually, because we've been filming like a little bit of my weight loss stuff. We could be filming the gym. I don't know if that's going to work.
On our
Pure gym, maybe.
phones.
Yeah, pure
Just
gym at
Snap
midnight.
it out. You mean like a proper fucking shoot?
Just like a bit of footage, really. Like just something we can throw in there.
Yeah.
So just for some context, we're shooting like a piece on me losing weight again for like the 9th time. So now I basically was trying to like get some muscle and weight on. I built my strength up over the last 6 to 8 months. Then I started losing weight in like Jan. So hopefully I'm looking a little bit slimmer. Might not.
Your face just goes straight away as soon as you start cutting. Like
Yeah.
I remember when I first joined, it was like well over a year ago now. You just like getting cut, and like midway through the year, you just like shrank,
Yeah.
and then then you're putting on weight to get some size, and now you're shrinking again.
Yeah, it seems a bit psychotic, really, doesn't it, when you think about it?
Yeah, but it's like the results. Like, when do they end? Like because we put ourselves through this stuff where you gain weight and you feel like shit for like 6 months, and then you're cut and you're cut for like 3 months, and then you go through the whole process again.
Yeah.
It's like what's the end goal?
I think it's just cool to like work on yourself. I like working on myself, and you know what I miss is just wearing good clothes. I miss wearing like clothes that I enjoy wearing.
Yeah, fucking comfy hoodies and baggy
Yeah.
clothes. Yeah,
I like wearing a good shirt sometimes. So I've not worn a shirt in a long time, so
yeah. I've never worn shirts. Nothing fits me right. Like, it doesn't hang off me right. I feel uncomfortable in everything. I've literally got, like, anyone who's seen any of the videos that I've done here, I've got like one pair of jeans which I've bought 5 times, and like 2 t-shirts which I've bought 5 times,
yeah.
and that's it.
What do you wear when you go out?
Pretty much the same shit. Yeah.
Well, we ain't been out in a while, have we? So, you know what? It was a good time to put weight on because we weren't going anywhere anyway.
Yeah.
So
It's true.
It's my birthday in like 20 days.
I swear it was your birthday the other week.
It wasn't. I was probably saying it's going to be my birthday soon.
How old are you going to be?
33.
33.
Yeah.
You're younger than me.
My son's turning 3 in 2 days. So that's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, just a lot of birthdays at the moment. David's kid today.
Tom's birthday today.
Is it Tom's birthday today?
Yeah.
Better say happy birthday when I go out
Yeah.
there.
Just write it in Slack now. Join the group.
I'll message him now. Let's see. Thomas. Happy B-Day. Oh, no, I've written happy with 3 P's as well.
It's like happy. I was excited for him.
So we'll go over a couple of different things. You know, like we're not going to make it like a super long drawn out episode. Me and David just go into too much stuff sometimes. So we'll keep it sharp and concise. The podcast has been going pretty well. You know, we've been doing this. So this is the end of the 3rd season, episode 24. So I guess Nindy's worked out 8 episodes per season. That's probably how he's worked it out. So that's good. Made it this far. Hopefully we'll start getting more people on as well next time, and the next season.
Like special guests.
Yeah, I think Nindy's been talking about like reaching out to some interesting people.
What, actually coming in the office?
Hopefully, yeah. I don't know who yet. So we'll just see. We'll get Joe Rogan in there.
Yeah.
Fly over to Preston, Joe.
You can learn a few things.
Yeah.
Maybe.
He can bring over some of his weird table peripherals and things.
And
got
there's
some
like
good stuff.
LSD stuff that he takes as well.
Yeah, what does he take during the show?
Well, he smokes a lot of weed, don't he?
Mm,
But he's always on about taking some kind of like hallucinogenic stuff.
like a DMT type thing.
Yeah.
Have you seen his episode with what's that guy's name, man? God's sakes. Hancock. Something Hancock.
Matt?
No. Fuck's sakes. I'm going to have to find this now. Graham Hancock. Sorry.
What's he do?
He is like a historical researcher, I want to say. Like, he's like a researcher. He like has all these incredible like kind of, he's a British writer and journalist, like writes about history and ancient civilizations. And they talk about doing like hallucinogenics a lot. Because Graham Hancock's really into his hallucinogenics, which if you hear him talk, it seems like he's the last person you would think would be getting high off like anything, but he does because he thinks it's that you're supposed to. So
yeah, you've never done any drugs, have you?
I've not done anything at all. No cigarettes, no drugs, no alcohol, no coffee or tea anymore. So
see, I couldn't do that. I survive on coffee. I have like 8 coffees a day, and this is my 2nd monster drink.
Well, that's the problem though. Maybe that's what's causing your anxiety or your stress or whatever.
To be fair, yeah, I'm not meant to drink caffeine anyway because I'm bipolar. They say stay away from
Yeah,
me.
well, like my anxiety levels get pretty severe. Like I go into like a shell when I'm anxious. So I just thought, you know what, I'm just not gonna have it anymore. I've not had a diet drink since the start of my cut, pretty much.
I've done it before. I've cut out all caffeine and stuff for like three months, I think, when I was doing my first cut.
Yeah.
And like for the first few days, I had a massive headache, but it worked all right after that.
Do you know what's good? It's gonna sound really fucking weird. I've read this this book on cancer, and there was a scientist back in the day. It was in the 50s, and he's written this book on cancer basically, and like alternative medical treatments and stuff. And basically, right, they had this like solution to cancer, and you're never gonna guess like what it is. Like it involves coffee. I'll give you 3 guesses.
3.
So it involves coffee and it cures cancer. And the reason I won't go into why it cures cancer, but this has been tested like vigorously, which is a good choice of words. But it's been tested vigorously over decades.
It's not like filtering coffee up someone's arsehole or something.
It is.
Is it?
It's a coffee enema.
Yeah.
First try.
I've heard of it, yeah.
Yeah, apparently it's like fucking amazing. Like for your health and...
Is it hot coffee?
Apparently you've got to boil it at a certain temperature. Because obviously you don't want to be burning your insides.
What would be body temperature?
Yeah, I guess
once
so,
it's in you. Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. But there's something you put in it, and there's a certain way to prepare it and shit, and then.
Would you take it with like milk and sugar?
Yeah, it's I can't remember what the book's called now properly, but I'll have to find it. And if someone asks me when they're editing this, I'll find it. You can drop it in the comments.
Do you know what? I'm surprised that's not taken off. Surprised it's not more of a well-known cure for cancer.
Cancer's like it's a big business, isn't it? So I don't think things like that come out. But
what goes in, so it must come out.
I don't know how it would. I don't know how it would feel. I know people have talked about having like
colonic irrigation and stuff. Yeah,
and they say it's good, but
it makes you ill. It moves all your toxins around in your stomach and that. It makes you like really ill.
Ill as in like what, diarrhea or vomit?
Vomit, like sick. It makes you it shocks your body.
I couldn't do that. I hate vomit.
I hate stuff up my ass.
I'm allergic to, not allergic, but I have a fear of throwing up.
Yeah.
So I can't do that.
I'm not tempted by coffee or water at my backside, to be fair.
It's a thing. Just Google it.
I bet you did not guess that I was going to guess that.
No, I didn't, to be honest. That's why I gave you 3 tries, and I thought you'd lose all of them. But coffee enema, right?
Oh, there we go.
Benefits, risk. It's a colon cleanse for alternative medicine. Yeah, it's a thing.
Tom, can you throw up some video footage of...
Coffee enema is the injection of a coffee into the rectum and colon via the anus, i.e. an enema. There is no medical scientific evidence to support any positive health claim for this practice. Medical authorities advise that the procedure may be dangerous. Well, the medical authorities would say that, wouldn't they?
Well, you're sticking boiling hot coffee up your ass. I'm pretty sure it's going to have some...
I don't think you boil it. I think it's it's there's a couple of things to it, but yeah, read into it. It's a very interesting little topic. So yeah, it's coffee enemas for you. 12 minutes in, there you go, bombshell.
Oh god,
I don't know what we were talking about before that.
We started on weight loss and the gym, and then we moved on to sticking coffee up your ass.
So it's just health, isn't it? I don't have any. I'm not gonna lie. Like when I was at my mum's the other day, she's got like just cans of Pepsi in the fridge, and I love Pepsi Max. It's like my go-to after a hard gym session, and I just want to like chill.
Cherry Pepsi.
Yeah, or a cherry Pepsi. Yeah. Well, that's what we used to go buy, didn't we, from Sainsbury's during lockdown? It was good.
That feels like a long time ago.
Yeah. It's been weird since then, really. There's not a lot that's like changed, I suppose. But
the biggest thing that I found is that there's people in the office.
Yeah.
Like, because it was literally just you and I for like 6 months, just in the office, going to another secret gym, filming ads.
That was a good secret gym, actually.
Secret gym? You mean the one next to us?
Yeah. Yeah, the one next to us. No, it was good being able to go in there, but it will have to come to an end at some point.
Do you reckon it'll be a 4th one?
Yeah, I think so.
You really? Even though they're like, this is the last one, we promise.
Yeah, I think what they'll say is that because people aren't deciding to vaccinate themselves, it's still spreading and all the rest of it, and then they'll guilt trip people into taking the vaccine because we're going to go into another lockdown.
I've had the vaccine.
Yeah, I've not.
I'm deemed a health risk though, so I had to. Yeah.
Yeah, Jasmine's had it. I know quite a number of people that have had it. My parents have had it. But we're all. I don't really have I have got an opinion on the vaccine, but I think ultimately, as long as it's our own choice, that's the thing that matters to me. I don't want to be forced. Yeah. I don't think anybody should be forced to take anything.
It's like they're saying they were playing with the idea of bringing in like vaccine passports to go to the pub and stuff. And into shops.
I think they launched it in New York, didn't they?
Really?
They're launching vaccine passports in New York.
Like to actually go into shops and stuff.
I think it's to actually travel.
Yeah, travel's a thing.
I might be wrong on that, but if that's the case, then I guess I won't be going to New York again, which sucks because I like New York. But
yeah, I love New York.
But I think it will shake out however it shakes out. I think there's a lot of controversies that are coming along with all of this stuff. I don't think people would like the idea of being bribed into being vaccinated, which essentially is what it is. It's like, if you read the comments and stuff on social, people are like, had the jab, now I've got my freedom. Well, it's like, you shouldn't have to say that, should you? Because there's a problem in what you're saying. You've had the jab, so you've got your freedom. It's like, well, we should have freedom anyway.
We should,
surely.
But we've never had that.
So, anyway, yeah, that's pretty much where we're at. I'll be in the gym on Monday, and we'll just see what happens. Hopefully, there's no fucking jab to work out bullshit.
There's a lot of people taking injections in that gym, I can tell you, but it's not.
Probably less healthy ones. Yeah. I don't know. I know some, and again, like, I don't want to say any names, but I know someone that needed a vaccine type passport thing to travel to Sweden.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they found someone to basically create them a forged proof of vaccine, which they used and they got away with.
Well, how's anyone really going to know?
I don't know. I think that's what the census thing is about, though. They've started posting that census letter out to everybody around the UK. I think what that is a data gathering exercise to make sure they've got all the up-to-date information on everyone.
Yeah, because you get fined if you don't fill it out.
Yeah,
it's like £1,000.
That's what made me suspicious. Yeah. So it's like, why are they charging us £1,000 if we don't fill in this shitty little form? It's because they really desperately need that data. Because they don't have the data in one place right now. It's everywhere. So you've got NHS, and you've got like education, you've got work, you've got therapists. What they want is everything collated in one place, including your medical records, obviously.
Data is power.
Yeah, and then if they had everything centralized, then it would become really easy to check, wouldn't it? They'll be able to say, right, okay, well, he goes to therapy, so he's a flight risk because he might be psychotic and he's not had the vaccine, so he's a conspiracy theorist or whatever. They can make whatever kind of conclusions they want based on your data. So,
and obviously the vaccines are pumped full of microbiotics, micro robots that track you and
God knows, I
control.
don't know. Who knows what's in there? I'll tell you one thing: there's no label to check, so you just walk in and get it. So
yeah, it was super easy to get it done. Literally, I walked in. There's a line of people, like quite close together, and then they say go to the end. They literally jab you. You walk off, go out a different exit. It's like a production line.
It's interesting, really. Like, I think, I've seen both sides of it. I've seen people who are really extreme about getting it. I've been called selfish because I've not got it. I've been called like a murderer because I've not got it. Like, it's just ridiculous.
Future murderer.
Maybe, yeah. But I think if we're going to think like that, then I suppose we've all killed someone, because how do we know where our bacteria has gone and our flu viruses have gone and who they've affected, like in the domino effect of the population? Fuck knows. Like,
butterfly effect.
The amount I bloody travel, I've probably infected millions of people. So,
STDs or just
probably a bit of both. So I don't know. I think those views are just too extreme, man. I think they shouldn't be so extreme on either side. I just think like we should just have our own choice.
Everyone's got to shout out about something. If you're not like opinionated anymore, it doesn't matter.
It's like the equivalent of like if I don't believe in the vaccine, but I'm not going to sit here and bash you for taking it.
Yeah.
It's like, it's your body, isn't it? Your choice. It's up to you. Like,
I mean, different, man. Like,
the problem is when people go on and start like patronizing you or whatever because you're doing something that they've not done, or vice versa. It's just like retarded. I got into a massive debate. I hope he's listening because he's a fucking twat. Like, I got into a massive debate with this guy on Facebook the other day.
Are you gonna name names?
Nah, like I won't say any names, but you can find it if you just go from a Facebook. But this guy was just like, just not taking anything on board. He didn't want to listen to anything. Kept saying, you haven't got any facts. I presented with some facts and he just wouldn't accept them.
For against or for the vaccine?
A bit of both, really. Like, I just he wanted my opinion. I said, okay, well, this is my opinion, and these are the facts that I've gathered. This is why I think like this, and he just wouldn't accept it. So whatever. So yeah, I think if people are informed, just make informed decisions. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I got nothing to say on the matter. I'm done.
I'm just too health conscious, so I have to check shit like that. Like, I don't even drink alcohol. So
I've put enough shit in my body to not care about vaccines, man.
Yeah, we're probably on both sides of the spectrum there.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Oh well, it is what it is, man. I'm looking forward to the gym and working out. I've been losing some pretty good weight. I started at 83 kilos it was in the end of January, according to MyFitnessPal. So I started at 83. Let's see, 83. God's sakes. 83.4. 83.5 was the highest I got to. So now I'm 77.5. So that's what, like 6 kilos? All right. Yeah.
You're saying it's like a stone or something.
Yeah, so just about a stone. And it's like I can feel it now. Like, cause I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Like I'm hungry all day. So that's not ever a good part of it.
Well, it means your metabolism's like kicking in and you're digesting stuff correctly and you're eating the right stuff. But yeah, I'm always hungry, regardless if I'm cutting or bulking. Just want to eat.
It was Easter as well. Do you have an Easter egg?
Didn't have an Easter egg, but I did have some frozen yogurt with like chocolate on top, loads of chocolate on top.
Where'd you get your frozen yogurts from?
A Hale.
Is that little tiny shop in Manchester?
It's just on the outskirts of Manchester. It's not the one you're thinking of near the station.
The one I'm thinking of has like a black banner, and they've got like black ice cream in there.
No, like charcoal.
It's like I don't know what it is. It's like, it's a yogurt, but it's
a charcoal yogurt, I think, yeah.
Yeah, it's well good.
It's not that shop, but I do know that shop.
You go in there and get the black charcoal yogurt with a waffle and flapjack bites. Oh my
god. Nah, man. It's got Lotus biscuit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Actually, yeah, because I had Biscoff on it. I had Biscoff spread on it.
How's the cut going?
I might have to go there this weekend, to be honest.
I'm going to a yogurt shop this weekend.
I had 60 grams of an Easter egg yesterday.
60 grams.
260 calories.
Could you not just had like one of those little mini eggs?
Yeah, probably, but I just like how the egg feels. It just feels more satiable. Like, it looks big. It's like, it was about that much, probably, which looks like quite a bit.
I have a real problem with like chocolate and sweet stuff. Like I comfort eat and I binge, so then it's like an emotional thing. And I really struggle with chocolate. I can't just have one bit. If there's a bar, if it's this big or this big, I'll eat the whole thing in one go, and I feel like shit whilst I'm doing it and afterwards.
Yeah.
And I'm telling myself whilst I'm eating it, don't eat it. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you eating this? And afterwards, I just feel like shit. And then I eat again because I feel like shit.
It's like the all or nothing thing, isn't it? Because it's like, if I've ruined my day now, I might as well just have a go now and just eat as much as I can. I'm like that.
I went 10 years. I used to be a vegan and a vegetarian. Not like Nindy. He says he's a vegetarian, but he eats fish. So when you're listening to this, Nindy, you're not a vegetarian. But for 10 years...
Well, then I'm a vegetarian because the only meat I eat is chicken.
Yeah. By that logic, yeah. But I didn't eat chocolate for like 10 years. So I think now I'm like making up for not eating chocolate.
Yeah.
And just overindulging.
That's what happens to me, I think. Like Christmas time, especially last year, just before we shot Fade to Black, I put a little bit of weight on over that little window because I'd been cutting so hard. Then it was like Christmas time, Indian food, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And then we came back and filmed Fade to Black. And I remember I looked a little bit bigger there. But now in hindsight, I wasn't actually that big. I was only like 75 kilos.
No.
So I was lighter than I am now. So
yeah, it's mad. Like I don't think I'm ever going to be happy with where I'm at. Like I've been training for like, I don't know how long now. It must be like 8-9 years or something. And I've never once felt like confident in my own body. I feel like I'm wearing a fat suit. Like I've got like body dysmorphia. Like you know about this, so I don't see myself how other people see me. Like I talked to Dan about this. I feel like a little fat kid. So when people like say stuff to me, I feel like they're joking and that.
You ever tried hypnosis?
I don't believe in hypnosis, man.
Why not?
It doesn't work for me. I struggle sleeping as it is. So.
Have you tried it though?
I'm not open enough to it, to the idea. Like, I'm a skeptic with that kind of thing.
I was a skeptic, like hardcore skeptic. I just thought it was a show, but then I got hypnotized.
What do they make you do?
I went to see this guy called Anthony Jacquin. Oh, hi Anthony, if you're listening. I know he listens sometimes. His dad's one of the leading hypnotists in Europe, so they're like pretty big time. He's worked on Derren Brown's TV show and stuff like that, so he's like really well known. And he had a company called Head Hacking. And when I was about 19, I used to be into magic a lot. I used to be really into like illusions and mind reading and all that kind of shit. Like I love that stuff. Did you not go to the Christmas party when we had that Brazilian?
Yeah, I saw you doing your hypnosis on Jazz. Yeah,
yeah, it's like Jasmine like forgot her name and all that shit.
Yeah,
like,
that's because she was drunk.
Yeah, maybe. You know, so I went to see this guy and I just said to him, look, like I don't really think it would work on me. Like I was open to the idea that it works on some people, and technically, like hypnosis doesn't work on everyone. It's like a 7 and 10 kind of ratio normally, but most people will be susceptible to some degree. So you know you'll be able to, like, for example, there's a really classic test where you do magnetic hands and you get someone's hands to come together. That works on 9 out of 10 people pretty much because it's a really simple suggestion and people kind of just like fall into it a little bit. But the way it works is you kind of train people up to it. So let me backtrack. So I went to see Anthony, said I don't really believe it, and then by the end of it, he stuck my hand to like a window and I couldn't move, and it was like, I was like, this is fucking weird. It made me forget my name, like I couldn't count and all these kinds of things. And it's not like I'm dazed or anything. It's nothing like that. You're literally as conscious as you are right now. But it's just that this one little thing is just like just not happening.
I mean, I understand the logic behind it and people are affected, but I don't feel like being like fully. I could be like hypnotized into like reeling off like history and stuff from a past life and that sort of shit.
You'll be surprised.
Yeah, but
you'll be surprised what can happen. So I think I told you, didn't I, when I went to see that guy in Preston? Like I had like he made me go back to the moment I was born.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Because I was trying to work out where my anxiety comes from, and through a couple of sessions, like I had this weird experience where I was like convulsing in the chair, and I could see myself like being born. It was fucking bizarre.
Yeah, that's weird.
So, you know, it's all there. Like all the information we have throughout our life is all there.
It's just not.
We just don't access it. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it'll work. Maybe it won't.
It's worth trying just to see. I just think it's fascinating, and it's a science that isn't explored that much. And I think the reason it's not explored that much is because it gets utilized that heavily in day-to-day life. That if everybody really knew how easy it was just to be suggested to all the time, it would probably freak us all out. Because it's little things like when you're walking down the road, your brain is processing absolutely everything, and that's why media is so powerful, because like it's not just what we're looking at, it's everything that's happening in that medium. So sound and emphasis on words and submodalities is what you call it. So submodalities, sorry, is what you call it. It's like when two words are connected. So if I said like, the sky is nice today, right? What did you hear?
The sky is nice today.
Okay, but what I'm actually trying to say is this guy is nice today. So that's a submodality. Now,
but you actually said the sky is nice today.
I said it like that, but I wanted you to hear that.
Yeah.
Your brain will process both things. And that's what's crazy about language. That's like language is like such a powerful thing. Like, and there's loads of little things like that get used in media, advertising, and by really bad people who want to just get us to think weird shit all the time.
Getting vaccinated and stuff.
Maybe. Like subliminal messaging in the 80s was like a massive thing.
Yeah.
You know, 80s and 90s, like there was a lot of drumming down on how much they're allowed to use, and you know, like there were like legalities behind it and shit like that.
Yeah. Can't do anything nowadays. Everything's censored. You should see my videos. They're all censored.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's probably worth checking out at some point. I know Jasmine went and done it. And
Yeah,
then she had a meltdown for like a month.
yeah, I know.
I'm joking.
She
You know,
thought,
she had a pretty,
she
pretty
thought she was Hitler or something.
she had a pretty mad experience, like from what I gather. It's just weird. Like they use it in like forensics as well. Like in America and stuff. Like they'll sit someone down and try to work out like a crime scene, for example, see if they can pick up any details, little things like that.
Yeah, that's pretty mad.
It's pretty fascinating, really. So yeah, that's hypnosis. When I first started losing weight, actually, like, I was really quite big at that time, and I remember I got this downloadable audio on like basically not being hungry. That's like one of the first things I did to try and get my mind right before I started my weight loss.
Like something you'd listen to like when you fall asleep to learn a new language.
Yeah,
and that,
yeah. I just literally like have it on at night, and it would just be like talking to me about how I don't feel hungry for these cravings, but all these weird cravings.
That just make me hungrier. Someone telling me I'm not hungry, I'll be like, no, I'm fucking hungry.
Yeah.
Like you've got like next level willpower though, like because you used to come in, eat like all your calories throughout the day, and then go home and just not eat. I couldn't do that.
I used to just have 4 slabs of chocolate at home, and that was it. But you just get used to it.
Yeah,
basically.
I'm just used to eating chicken and veg and rice. But then when I'm bad, I binge. Because my diet is actually really clean. And when I say I binge, it's probably no more than someone's normal diet. It's just for me, it's a abnormality, really bad for me.
What would you eat? Like if you went to a Nando's and you binged, what would you eat?
Double chicken breast wrap.
Yeah.
Maybe some chips.
The chips are good.
Chips are good.
Peri peri chips with Perinaise.
Just standard chips and ketchup for me. But that's what I mean. Like for us, that's a binge. For other people, that's a normal fucking meal.
Yeah.
Like that's how warped our mindset is, because we are similar on that level. But I just got no self-control anymore.
Yeah, like sometimes like I remember like when I'd go to my mum's house like back in the day. I say back in the day, probably a couple of years ago when I really started getting lean, and I'd be so hungry and I'd say, you know what, I'm just going to have a slice of bread, that's it. And I'd have a slice of bread and I'd kill myself for it just because I had a little slice of bread. It's like ridiculous. It's 100 calories, like it's nothing. But my mind was so like fixated on being on plan all the time.
Yeah. You punish yourself, but then when you look at the bigger pictures, like you're depriving yourself of so much stuff. Like I used to be like anorexic, and I didn't eat anything. I couldn't eat in front of people or anything. And then I gradually changed, but I punished myself then, and I still have that mentality. But I'm trying to like be okay with it. I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll have a beer at the weekend, and then like have a beer and I feel guilty. But I'm like, it's just a beer. People drink every day.
Yeah, they do.
I'm just like, I'm like in the shop. I'm like speaking to Emma. I'm like, should I have a beer? Or, like, I don't know. Maybe I'll just get Pepsi. I don't know, mate. I kind of want a beer.
Yeah.
It should just be I pick up a beer, have a beer, and I'm.
What about traveling and that? How do you handle it when you travel?
As in terms of.
Just like, well, not now, but like once upon a time when we could go places. Like if you'd go out to like London or stay in a hotel.
So
America.
Because Emma's a PT and we're all both into our fitness. Whenever we travelled, we picked hotels that had gyms or that were located near a gym. So at least that if we did like go drinking or eating or anything, we could go to the gym in the morning. But the whole trips have always been based around having a gym.
Yeah.
Which when you think about it, is fucking mad. But
I was pretty much the same. Like me, David, and Jamie would travel a lot a couple of years ago, and I just remember every time it was like we need to be in an Airbnb. Has to be an Airbnb. Can't stay in a hotel. And if it was a hotel, it was getting Jasmine to pre-call the hotel and say like what kind of food you do, like all these preparations. It was very hard. The last time we went to New York, there's a place in New York called Joe's Pizza.
Yeah, I've been.
Oh, man.
They're big pieces, though, man.
They're big pizzas, yeah, but they're just so good. So good.
The
Those
slices
pizzas.
are big, not like the whole pizza. The fucking slices.
Yeah, it's almost like a fucking, like a, it's like a pizza basically. So I remember that when we were there that time, we were going to see the NBA actually, and there was a sales guy with us, Derek, at the time, and David had been talking about this Joe's Pizza for the entire fucking first 3 days. It was just like, we're going to go to Joe's Pizza, and I was like, oh man, I'm not going to be able to have one. So I just stood there and watched him have it. Basically, it was like the worst thing ever.
Do you not have like regrets over that, like not having that experience? Like, I know it's.
I've had it
pizza,
before.
But
I've had the pizza before, so I knew what I was missing. But it was just like, I was just so dedicated. Like I was going to the gym when those guys were asleep. So at 6 a.m, I was in the gym. They were still asleep. I'd come back, have my breakfast, and be ready, and they'd just be getting up. And it's not saying that they were doing something wrong. It's just that I just wanted to be a step ahead and make sure I was like set for the day.
It's like when we went to London to film. Like, I
exactly,
asked you before we went, is there going to be a gym? And then we went to the gym in the morning, had our breakfast cooked.
Yeah.
And then filmed. But, yeah.
That's when I was just starting my second cut, actually. And I remember we went to that Thai restaurant.
Oh, my God.
And I was like, this isn't good.
Sushi and sticks.
Yeah.
I went back there like a few months ago.
It's good, isn't it? What was that? That was the Thai, but then there was also another place that done like that. The sushi. It was like they just had loads of different sushis.
On the sticks, yeah.
Was that sushi and sticks?
Yeah.
We went to a Thai as well.
Yeah,
Didn't we?
that was like for some reason I thought it was like a Mandarin Oriental or something, but it was a hotel that had a nice...
Oh, yeah. I remember that now, yeah. That was just me, you, David, and...
Crackhead.
Julia. Oh, God.
Yeah, that was good.
So much has happened.
Mad, isn't it?
It's...
Like, how do you feel, like... Because obviously I've been here, like... I joined in January...
What? 2019? No,
December 2019. I was in for a few weeks and I joined in and what's it now? It's well over a year, like a year and a half or so almost. It's like I feel like I've been here for like 10 years, and then like since I've been here, I've got 2 people under me, and then how many people working here now?
What, in the whole company?
Yeah,
just over 60, I think.
Over 60,
or maybe just about 60 or something.
And how many of those people are since, like, I joined?
Quite a lot
in the last year or so.
Yeah, because we were only at about 35 when you joined, so it's been a lot since then.
Do you ever feel like you'd have a company that had like that many people, and still be growing?
No, not really. No, like it's that stage now where I think, the growth is kind of beyond me, David, and Jamie. Like, people are always hiring. Like, I just saw an ad today for one of the devs is hiring another dev. And
did you even know about it?
No, like, it's not really my area of the business. So, like, I don't really get to see everything anymore. It's the same for the guys. Like, we've all got our own thing. And, we just...
Is that hard? Like, not having visibility of everything? Or
Yeah. But then we have trust in each other. So... like I know David's handling his thing, Jamie's doing his thing, I'm doing my thing. So we just trust each other's judgment on what we're doing in other parts of the business. But it wouldn't work without any one of us really at this stage, which is a bad thing really. So that's what we're trying to solve that by giving more responsibility to other people and bringing in the right talent to help us do that.
Yeah,
basically. It's good. It's good. Like a lot's grown over the last. It's grown a lot over the last year, but I also think, there's pros and cons to it, but mostly good things. I think.
What would a con be?
It's just hard to manage. It's hard to manage, like from a HR perspective, just from operationally, it's hard. Like things don't move as fast as they used to move. Like I remember 2 years ago, if we wanted to do something, it was so easy.
Like a reactionary thing.
Yeah.
Now there's processes and stuff like that. Yeah.
The processes makes everything slow.
They have benefits, but
yeah.
Yeah.
It's just certain things that, like I know, like certain things could be done so quick. It's like the thumbnail thing we were going on about.
Fuck me, I was just about to say
It was like, it's a thumbnail, for fuck's sakes. Just make it and just put it on the video and then just move on. But it's like, I think we spent like a week and a half or 2 weeks deciding on these thumbnails. And it's because it's just, we've got to wait on other people. And, you know, like there's a lot of people involved in just the process now, and it like makes everything slow.
Well, people are coming in to optimize and like share their knowledge on what works and what doesn't, stuff that we don't know about. So like there's always going to be teething problems, but yeah, for a thumbnail it should just be put an image there and some text there. But no, that was hanging.
Yeah, so that's kind of the cons really. It's just like trying to make things move faster, but you know, we've got like Blocks is moving along really well. Ben's a really good example. Like, you know, he's kind of taken that and just, you know, he's just kind of ran with it. So we've not really had to really step in and do anything, which is good. So, you know, he's got it to that stage, and same with you on the video stuff. Like, I can kind of just let you get on with it. In support, Katie can just like, you know, she just manages it and just does it. Like, I don't really interact with Katie. I think I've spoken to Katie like twice, probably, if that. But, you know, she's doing a good job. So it's just, you know, and I don't really speak to Ben that much about his actual job. Like, I speak to him about all kinds of other stuff, but
Crypto.
but not about his actual job. So that's what David does. So
yeah, no, it's good that like you got people who you can just rely on to get stuff done and take that step back. But yeah, I understand. Like,
yeah, I think what's going to happen is like if we bring in like a CEO, you know, me, David, and Jamie will become more involved with the actual day-to-day stuff, because the problem right now is like we're having to do everything like from this strategic perspective, which just takes a lot of energy, and it's all the steering and all of that stuff, and it's like it's not tangible.
yeah,
It's all like waiting, making decisions and seeing what happens. But if we get a CEO and who can handle that kind of operational role, then, you know, we can get back into doing the stuff that we really enjoy doing. Just like, for me, it would just be making content, essentially, just for the sake of making it.
So I always wonder, because obviously you are busy, and obviously my job originally was to come and film you, and then you got busy, and I couldn't.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? It's hard, like, finding time all the time. But
what kind of content would you want to make? Like, because I got aspirations for the content team as well, but like what sort of stuff?
Just big stuff, you know. Like, I would like to just do one big thing every month. Like, it doesn't always have to be so frequent. I think if we made one really good thing every month, that would be pretty good. But, you know, it's just a balance. Like, I know frequency is important as well. Like, we've got to have stuff going out like frequently. But then I think if we bring in some more video people, more editors, will have more capacity to make more interesting stuff, spend more time on stuff. Some of the new ads look weird. Like, that would be fun to get our heads into, and you know, go out and shoot those. I think that would be good fun. Like I'll be involved with that because I want to like be there and see how it all rolls, and like, you know, have some input on that. But like, I won't be in the content, which is like, you know, it's a bit of a change. I might be, I don't know. I might just pop my head in for Bants.
Yeah, just a cameo.
Yeah, maybe, but that'll be it. Because I'd like to see how it works with just using actors and stuff like that. Yeah, that would be quite interesting.
Yeah, there's never a smooth sailing as you think, because you get bringing actors, you need to bring in makeup, you need to bring in wardrobe.
We've done the actor thing before, and it's, you know, there's a reason we don't do it. It's not easy, especially finding people that can actually get it. Like, they need to. Yeah. It's not just about being a good actor. It's about, you've got to know what we are, and you got to get into the vibe of what we are, and you know, it's hard. We used to have a girl called Nush Cope, Anushka her name is, and she's gone on to do like big things now, so we can't really get her anymore. She was really good. She fit in with the whole vibe of the company, the brand. Like, she got it completely. Well, like, and she was really good on camera.
It's having that hybrid of getting the right message to people to sell to them, but then keeping true to like the brand.
Yeah.
And that's really hard, I think, especially if you, like you said, if you bring in actors who just are polished and clean, everything that kind of we're not.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think we're going to be looking to get like American as well. So because that's where our audience is, and I think that kind of video, the script that we have is quite comical, and I think it would just be better with an American type kind of narrator or whatever on screen. I think that would just look better. The British are just like, we can be a bit dull sometimes. So,
you said that with the most monotone voice.
Well, we can be, can't we? We're not always the most like expressive and out there. So, like, I couldn't do it. I can't do that role. So,
well, it's like, but again, back to thumbnails. The conversation in Slack where people are telling me I need to smile for the thumbnails because I'm not welcoming. So I can't smile. That was me smiling, and people said I looked unwelcoming.
Well, it's what it is. But
Americans.
So yeah, that's pretty much what's going on. Just get some videos done with blocks, and we've got loads of stuff coming up. It's just getting a bit of time to put aside and actually do it.
Book launch.
Yeah, like the book stuff's going to be coming up now. Nindy's actually on the phone right now to the narrator people who's going to do like the voiceover of the book. They were like, do you want to do it? And I was like, fuck that. It's like, I don't even know how many pages it is. It's just like a long book.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's a bad book, by the way. It's a good book. It's just I don't want to sit there and narrate the whole thing. That's all.
I've had to go through it a number of times for the videos.
Yeah. It's just, like I don't want to narrate a book.
No. I don't know, but like when I have an audiobook, if it's by someone, I want them to read it. Like if they're not reading it, then I can't really.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like I've heard a few self-narrated books. Graham Hancock, he does all his own stuff, but he's got a really good voice, to be fair. Yeah, I don't know. Like
it takes time to do it.
That's the main thing. It's just time. Like I don't mind. I think I could read it well. I just think it's so long.
Yeah.
So time consuming.
If I ever wrote a book, it'd probably just be like a pop-up. Just keep it short, but like visually engaging.
Yeah. Like 100 pop-ups.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Dan's 100 pop-ups. It sounds like a porno, but maybe it will be. I don't know. Keep an eye out for that. It's being launched next year.
Right, cool. Well, we'll wrap up for the episode. I think, we just wanted to give you guys a bit of a casual chit chat today. Obviously, Dave is not in, Jamie's not in, so we done what we could.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dan, for jumping in as well. And
take one for the team.
So that's it. That's the season. We'll be back with season 4. I don't know what the content is yet, so I'm sure it's going to be exciting. We'll be trying to get some guests and stuff in now as the lockdown eases, so we should be able to get people in here. And yeah, hope you guys are staying safe, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Thank you.